Now, each of you is in the process of building the structure of your lives. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. I want to suggest some of the things that should be in your life's blueprint. Number one in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth, and always feel that your life has ultimate significance. Secondly, in your life's blueprint, you must have as a basic principle the determination to achieve excellence in your various fields of endeavor. You're going to be deciding as the days and the years unfold what you will do in life, what your life's work will be. And once you discover what it will be, set out to do it and to do it well. And I say to you, my young friends, that doors are opening to each of you. Doors of opportunity to each of you that were not open to your mothers and your fathers. And the great challenge facing you is to be ready to enter these doors as they open. And finally, in your life's blueprint must be a commitment to the eternal principles of beauty, love, and justice. Don't allow anybody to pull you so low as to make you hate them. Don't allow anybody to cause you to lose your self-respect to the point that you do not struggle for justice. Let us keep going toward the goal of selfhood, to the realization of the dream of brotherhood, and toward the realization of the dream of understanding goodwill. We must keep moving. We must keep going. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving. This was a speech to the students of Barrett Junior High School in Philadelphia on October 26, 1967, by the great Martin Luther King, Jr. I didn't write that, y'all. I didn't write that. He did. No. Thank you all for coming out today on this very, very cold morning. I think we in like the 10 or 12 degree range of weather. So we thank you all for coming out today on this special day of our Martin Luther King Day celebration. I want to thank first and foremost the performance you all just witnessed is Rockville's own Soul in Motion. And they're celebrating 35 years. Oh, yes, round of applause for them. Round of applause for them. They're celebrating 35 years in the arts, and they commemorate this milestone with a gala performance on April 20th, 2019 at the Black Rock Center for the Arts in Germantown. For over 3 decades, Soul in Motion has been committed to presenting to diverse audiences the beauty of the African American culture with diverse audiences. Today's theme on this beautiful Martin Luther King Day celebration is enduring hope and enduring progress. Now, I'm gonna go into more about what that means specifically for our annual event today. But first, I'd like to bring up the chair of the Human Rights Commissioner, Ms. Courtney Proctor.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you all for being here despite the extremely cold weather we're having today. We really appreciate you. As Avery said, I'm Courtney Proctor, the current chair of the Human Rights Commission. Joining me today in celebration of Dr. King are my fellow commissioners. If you are here, please stand as I call your name. Jody Volk, Irfan Murtuza, Alonzo Smith, Deborah Cohen, Andrew Lynn, Wangari Kamau, Leanne Sherman, and Juan Fogelbach. I would also like to recognize our staff liaison, who is the heart and soul of the commission, Ms. Janet Kelly. The Human Rights Commission is an 11-member body that is charged to and strives to eliminate discrimination in the city of Rockville. We do this by providing programs and services that help reduce conflict and build understanding, such as our mediation program and programs that heighten awareness and appreciation of diversity, like our Diversity Leadership Workshop and our Rockville Pride program. For a full list of programs and services that we provide, please visit our table in the hall. To continue our program, here is Mayor Newton.
Thank you, Courtney, and thank you, Avery, and welcome everybody to the City of Rockville. I'd also like to introduce a few of our dignitaries who are with us today. Senator Cheryl Kagan is in the front. Delegate Jim Gilchrist. Our county council member, who I love to call Council Mayor, Sidney Katz. And our very own Rockville City Council members, Beryl Feinberg, Virginia Onley, and Mark Pershala. Also joining us is former City Council member Jim Marinan, and Margie Graff, who is the new CEO of the Rockville Chamber. Thanks, everybody. And my thanks to all of you for coming to celebrate with us today. On behalf of all of us, the council, the staff, and our community, it is my honor and pleasure to welcome you today as we celebrate the life and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a man whose enduring hope was a beacon for enduring progress. As I reflected on the theme for today, enduring hope, enduring progress, and I tried to write my remarks, it took me a couple days, I wanted to change the second enduring to ensuring. I was a bit perplexed by the title, Enduring Hope, Enduring Progress. Were we saying that hope was something everlasting, yet progress is something to be tolerated? Enduring hope, yes. We need hope to be continuing and long-lasting. Sorry. But enduring progress, the synonym of endure is to tolerate, suffer, withstand. Did we really mean that we must withstand or tolerate progress? I started to write my remarks by changing the word ensure, and then it dawned on me. For some, and in direct contrast to the direction this country was moving, progress is not to be ensured. The playing field is not to be level. Equal access to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is not for everyone. In a 2017 interview for the Crime Report, contributing editor Katie Gray asked Professor Justin Hansford, our speaker today, about the timing for the release of the 7th edition of Race, Racism, and the American Law. Why does this new edition of this book matter legally, politically, socially at this point in history? Professor Hansford explained that racial realism is the notion that racial progress doesn't happen in a straight line. It's a dance, he said. Law students need to be able to draw comparisons between the cases they are studying, case law, and their own life experiences. They must be advocates for racial justice and parity. Though I can't carry a tune, I do love music. The words that came to my mind when I read the professor's remarks were, "When will we ever learn?" For those of you who are much younger than me, Peter, Paul, and Mary's song, "Where Have All the Flowers Gone?" My friends, when will we ever learn? As a former history major, I understand this phrase, "If we choose not to learn from the mistakes of history, we are bound to repeat them." Hello? We're now year 2 into some real repeating. The highest office in this land uses the bully pulpit to demean and malign. According to the FBI, hate crimes in America rose 17% in 2017, the 3rd consecutive year in a row. And this weekend, there was a verbal altercation among people of this country on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. The Lincoln Memorial, with malice towards none. In his I Have a Dream speech, Dr. King said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." Another famous orator, Edmund Burke, said that all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Each and every one of us has to stand up to the bullying, to say no to hate. I'm not just talking about Washington, D.C. either. Professor Hansford is teaching another generation to stand tall and work for justice in our court system. The city of Rockville held a town hall on inclusivity. We've hung flags throughout our downtown, proudly representing the myriad countries our community represents. The council approved an MFD, Minority Female Disabled program, in our procurement department, and several of our city departments, I'm proud to say, are participating in the County Project Search Internship Program. Since becoming mayor, I have sought to show our city's diversity by nominating people to each of our boards and commissions who represent all of our diversity. Perspectives included, diversity in all its factors. But we must not stop. As Dr. King famously said, it is never the wrong time to do the right thing. Equality, justice, equity. For Rockville, for America, for everyone, these are goals that must be ensured, must be guaranteed. Progress means change. It must be ensured. It must also be endured. Thank you.
Take that. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have one more round of applause for Mayor Newton? And also for our Chair of Commissioner, Courtney Proctor. One more round of applause, please. Right. So like I said, I was going to tell you guys a little bit more about our theme, which is enduring hope and enduring progress. Also, throughout our programs today, there will be a bunch of sprinkles of MLK quotes. So just know that I cannot, or none of the people that will be assisting me cannot take full credit for the quotes, because they aren't ours, okay? Just quick tidbit. And we'll cite our sources, trust me. Today is January 21st, 2019. As some of you may know, Martin Luther King Jr. would have been 90 years old today. Because of the various sacrifices he made in his own life, my life had a very different amount of potential preset on my path to greatness. We all remember that Martin Luther King Jr. fought for civil rights, and we all remember that he was brave, courageous, and nonviolent, but do we all remember he wasn't but 39 years old when he was killed? Now, I can't speak for everybody, but I remember in grade school thinking that in order to be great, you had to be old. I mean, you had to have lived a life first. Like, you really had to have done some things. But then I would hear Martin Luther King Jr. was only 39 years old when he was killed. And I don't know about y'all, but my parents, they'll be 56 years old this year, you know. And I would never call my mother old. So, not to her face, not to her face. So I couldn't imagine being in class trying to think that, okay, Martin Luther King is supposed to be old. And he was 39 when his life was ended. So with that in mind, I know that while things were exponentially worse in the past as far as racial tension and institutionalized racism, but I also understand that today's society is not the epitome of where the fight and the struggle needs to get to. I'm bringing this to your attention because our theme this year, and probably one of the greatest strengths of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., is the ability to endure hope and progress. Now, while Dr. King saw a lot of success in his lifetime, the majority of his efforts went towards victories he wasn't allowed to celebrate in this realm. Majority. Now, he was a young leader with big dreams and an even bigger heart. And I think the fact that he worked towards a goal that today is still being developed in America is admirable. I'd like to bring to the stage a few students. Now, these students are coming from Wooten High School, and they're part of the Black Student Union. And these 7 students will help me illuminate 7 characteristics we believe that Dr. King possessed, and that are things that young leaders can cling on to as they are thoroughly developing their journey to leadership. So please, can I have a round of applause for my 7 volunteers? Y'all didn't bring y'all mic?
Hi, my name is Ellie Baker, and I'm a junior.
Hi, my name's Natej Cassius, and I am also a junior.
Hi, my name is Deborah Bett, and I'm a senior.
Hi, my name is Rona Juka, and I'm a sophomore.
Hi, my name is Chinielam Inyaboso, and I'm a sophomore.
Hi, my name is Alia Faisal, and I'm a sophomore.
Hi, my name is Pamela Bearser, and I'm a junior.
Round of applause, y'all. Round of applause. And y'all can take y'all. Clap them down, y'all. Clap them down. I've been performing for years. And in the midst of all this, I forgot to tell you guys who I am. My name is Avery Collins, and I will be your master of ceremonies, or MC, for the afternoon, on this very cold afternoon. I am a college graduate from University of Maryland. I graduated with a theater degree, surprise. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, born and raised. I've been doing theater since I was at the young age of 3. I've been doing hip-hop, if any of you remember me from last year, since the young age of 7, and I've just recently started putting those things together, and it has been a grandiose experience. Yes, ma'am.
Dr. King fought for equality, which is something that wasn't present at the time and still isn't present today. So how did he keep his faith strong for something that he didn't know was possible?
I will let Dr. King answer himself, vicariously through me, of course. Dr. King once said, "Take the first step in faith." Now, I'm a very religious and spiritual person. I'm not sure if I can't speak for the crowd, but sometimes keeping your faith strong is when you just take the first step, even though you don't know exactly where you're going. Sometimes you just got to believe that it'll get to the right place. You know what I mean? So to help me out a little bit, I would like to introduce to the audience the Goshen UMC Unified Choir. Now, Dr. King drew a great deal of his strength from his faith. Today, I would like to introduce you to Goshen UMC Unified Choir, which is one of the choirs of Goshen United Methodist Church, located in Gaithersburg, where the wonderful pastor, Reverend Eric W. King, presides. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for the Goshen Choir.
Put on my robe.
Mr. Collins, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I read that Dr. King marched with everybody, no matter what race or ethnicity, but I'm confused because I thought he was fighting for white people to respect black people, but why were there so many white people at this march?
So, hang on, everybody. It wasn't that he was fighting against anyone. Let's make that really blunt. I'm gonna let Dr. King again speak for himself. I'm gonna let him speak for himself. People, Dr. King once said, people fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other. So like I said, the answer isn't in fighting against anyone. The answer is communicating with everyone to figure out how we can all help each other move forward together. Okay? Now we all play an important role in the advancement of equality, and everyone is needed. Everyone adds to the movement of anyone moving forward, because that person and how they do whatever they do in their life affects everyone around them. That was a little discombobulated. Did y'all get me? Y'all got me? It was a little discombobulated. So in order to also shed some light on that, I'd like to welcome to the stage Capital Tap, okay? Now, Capital Tap, in residence at Knock on Wood Tap Studio in Washington, D.C., is shaping the next generation of tap musicians, dancers, historians, improvisers, technicians, teachers, and performers. Now, guided by founder Lisa Swinton-Appard and an assistant artistic director, Bakari Wilder, since 2010, these young artists between the ages of 9 and 25 have been awarded merit-based scholarships, booked professional gigs, accepted into the prestigious school at Jacob's Pillow for Tap, and performed at notable venues such as Wolf Trap in Virginia and Symphony Space in New York City. I was just waiting for the cue. But ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause in welcoming to the stage Capital Tap.
Excuse me,
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Collins. So you said that Dr. King fought for goals that still haven't prevailed today. So why should I keep fighting for something that have never seen possible and doesn't even come to pass in my lifetime?
That's what I said. That is what I said. Yes.
It is what
I
you
didn't mean it like that. So
Right.
I'm actually going to take this one to a more of a present day correlation. President Obama said, and I quote, "And I know that those young people, those hope carriers, are gathering around the world because history shows that whenever progress is threatened and the things we care about most are in question, we should heed the words of Robert Kennedy, spoken in South Africa. He said, 'Our answer is the world's hope. It is to rely on youth. It's to rely on the spirit of the young.'" So, with that being stated, all the young people in the audience, across the world, everywhere, it's very important that y'all remember that you gotta keep marching. You gotta keep building, you gotta keep raising your voice, because every generation has the opportunity to remake the world. As long as there is a fight, the goal is still a possibility. So while Dr. King, yes, he definitely did not get to witness the changes he made in this realm. Most of the witnesses he got to witness. Most of the goals he got to witness, sorry. But there are many things that made it easier for us and gave us a different platform to fight. And there are things that we won't see in our lifetime, but that our children's will see, and our children's children. And then it'll go from there. And this will, you know, if it was easy, it wouldn't be called a struggle, you know? So to help me sort of give you guys a blueprint of what I mean by perseverance, which is our key for one of our characteristics. We had faith, the second one was solidarity, now we're at perseverance. I want to introduce to the stage Ladae Green. Now, Ladae Green is a dancer that attends Charles Herbert Flowers High School, which is, I believe that's PG County. I'm from Baltimore again, but I believe that's Prince George's County, so it's real close to, we're in Montgomery County. Yes, all right. So it's real close to there. But Ladae Green has performed at many celebratory programs, and today will show us how one gains strength through perseverance. So let's welcome her, as she is a solo performer, to the stage, Ladae Green.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up, I like the waves. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
Dance, again, another art I was not ever able to master. So that's a great thing. Just in case anyone thinks I'm doing really good, really terrible, if they see a performance they really love, really hate.
Mr. Collins,
Yes, ma'am, please.
nobody really likes me. Dr. King had thousands, maybe millions, following him. How am I supposed to make a change when I don't have that many friends?
I'm sorry, first off. I want to apologize first off because I like you. Right? Right, crowd?
Thank
Right?
you.
Come on, let's do that. I think it's important to remember individuality in this instance. You're going to grow up. A lot of people are not going to like you. That's a good thing. That means you're doing something right, believe it or not. I think it's important that we understand that while Dr. King has millions of followers to this day, they all didn't start liking him. It might be some people, there's a rare bunch somewhere that might still hate him. I don't know. I'm not speaking about them. But we're going to speak about the people, as a leader, you don't chase the consensus of the crowd. You change the crowd to be the consensus of which you believe in. Martin Luther King, he said it better. Martin Luther King said, a genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. So I think it's important to remember when you're going through your individual journey, sometimes it will be lonely. Sometimes it will be isolated. Sometimes people aren't going to like you because of the decisions you make. But you got to be firm and hold firm to what you believe in. Coming up next to the stage, who will be helping me highlight this, will be a young performer as well, Miss Gabrielle Zui. Now, Gabrielle Zui is a talented singer-songwriter who does fantastic social justice work through her songwriting. Let's give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
This song is called Without a Label. me I can be anything. Why can't I just be me? Who you are, what defines you? Do we ever come without a label? These days when we were younger, these things didn't matter anyway. They showed me the corners of the world, said you can go this far in life, you can touch the sky. Well, baby, I can fly. Why just shoot for the stars when I can aim for the galaxies far beyond? So if I can be anything, why can't I just be me? Who you are, what defines you? Do we ever come without a label? These days when we were younger, these things didn't matter anyway. Whoa, 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 whoa. When you're telling me that I don't need to live up to their expectations, it's like you're saying I'm not good enough, so why would I try? While I'm up and away, breaking free from these limitations. If I leave these rules unbroken, what good am I? What good am I? Who you are, what defines you? Do we ever come without a label? These days when we were younger, these things didn't matter anyway. Who you are, what defines you? Do we ever come without a label? These days, these things didn't matter. They shouldn't matter anyway. Thank you. This song is called See the Change. We are people, helping people, not just the leaders of tomorrow. We are the leaders of today, advocating for the changes in this world, well aware of what is right, a message in the words we say. Sometimes we stop and think, why are we doing what we do? Oh, oh, oh. Maybe we just need a new and different point of view. Oh, oh. It's like we don't even see the change, microscopic day by day. Take the chance to turn away, step back and look at the world. You see the difference that you made. So let's lead the way, start a worldwide relay where reactions in a chain. Speak out, let your voice be heard, tell them what you've got to say. We are people, no, we're more than people. We are part of something stronger, something bigger than ourselves, motivated by our talents and our passions. What we do makes who we are, and we do all we can to help. Sometimes we stop and think, why are we doing what we do? Oh, oh, oh. Maybe we just need a new and different point of view. Oh, oh. It's like we don't even see the change, microscopic day by day. Take the chance to turn away, step back and look at the world to see the difference that you made. So let's lead the way, start a worldwide relay where reactions in a chain. Speak out, let your voice be heard, tell them what you've got to say. Starts with the small things, one little act of kindness amplified to what you're doing. Feel the love, you feel the change, microscopic day by day. Take the chance to turn away, step back and look at the world, see the difference that you made. So let's lead the way, start a worldwide relay, where reactions in a chain. Speak out, let your voice be heard, tell them what you've got to say. So let's be the change. Thank you.
Yeah, yes,
Hold
ma'am.
on, Mr. Collins.
Of course.
I know Dr. King must have gotten frustrated sometimes. You brought some leaders that didn't support the nonviolent movement. What kept him from resorting to violence to resolve the problems during that time? Why didn't Dr. King just necessarily quit, but give in sometimes to different perspectives?
I'm glad you said that. At this time, I will let Dr. King answer. Dr. King once said, "At the center of nonviolence is love." Violence is a cycle, okay? Peace never comes through violence, but through education and understanding of current events, issues, and concerns that affect different communities. In life, you have to know how to weigh and balance your options. Humility or being humble doesn't mean having all the power in the world, but having that power and knowing when and when not to use it. Our next group I want to invite up is the Migrant Heritage, I'm gonna say this one more time, I'm sorry. Next group I'm inviting up is the Migrant Heritage Philma Dance Ensemble Performers. A performing arts ensemble and the cultural arm of the Migrant Heritage Commission, or MHC, is composed of talented MHC adult and youth envoys for unity and service. ISA's Miss Teen Philippines America and MHC's Rising Young Star, which include performers Charmaine Cabatuando, Kyla Argente, Melissa De La Cuesta, and Grace Villanueva. It has been popularizing the world-renowned Philippines tinkling bamboo dance and participated cultural events in the U.S. Capital Region and neighboring states, such as the National Cherry Blossom Festival, Smithsonian Institution's Asian Festival, Annual Dance DC Fest, which is at the Kennedy Center, and America's National Independence Day Parade. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause for Migrant Heritage. So, of course, the last trait, the characteristic was balance. Prior to that, we had.
One
Yes?
second, hold on. Okay,
course.
Mr. Collins, how did Dr. King know whether that he was doing the right thing? I mean, how could I expect to know when I'm capable of making a change?
You know, that takes a special place to get to, which you will get to, and
Oh,
there
okay.
is no age to get there. There's no age to get there. But that is about the characteristic of enlightenment. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what Dr. King has to say about it. We are not makers of history. We are made by history. So our stories, you know, in a very spiritual sense, our stories are already written. Every decision you make and have made is the right decision because it's the decision you are left to deal with. At the end of the day, you know, whether it's right, wrong, it happened. And you got to figure out a way to either make it right or move on from there, and it shapes who you are moving forward. And it's also it is also the decision that sort of molds and shapes you into the person you are mentally, physically, spiritually, you know, emotionally. So we can never go through with regrets. You get to a point of enlightenment where you realize your destiny is already preset. You just got to follow the path. You just got to follow the path. So next up, we will have the CCAC Zhongxing Dance Group. Now, the CCACC Zhongxing Dance Group is from Gaithersburg, Maryland. Their teacher, Zhong, has more than 30 years of experience in teaching Chinese traditional and folk dance. They want to promote understanding and appreciation of different cultures and art. This performance represents the relief and good feeling one has upon being enlightened. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we please give a round of applause?
世上有多美丽的花，那是青春吐芳华，阵阵银光绽花开。鲜血染红团，一路芬芳满山人。
苍茫的天涯是我的爱，绵绵的青山脚下花正开。什么样的节奏是最呀最摇摆？什么样的歌声才是最开怀？弯弯的河水从天上来，流向那万紫千红一片海。哗啦啦的歌谣是我们的期待，一路边走边唱才是最自在。我们要唱就要唱得最痛快，你是我心中
So now, as we move forward, I want to make sure that we don't forget about...
Mr. Calling, how do I know
yes.
when it is my turn? How is the next generation always supposed to be better than the last? What if we don't do anything to help?
Well, that's a very great question. Great question. I think that falls into the realm of cadence. Not cadence in the sense of, musical inflection and rhythm, but cadence in the sense of following the movement, if that makes sense. Dr. King said, recap for anyone who's listening in the beginning, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. You'll know when it's your turn to do what you have to do because you have no choice. Unfortunately, we have to want it so bad that we are naturally in rhythm with how this movement is supposed to go. Everything is progress if it goes towards the cause. I mean, think about the progress we've made here in the last hour or hour and a half, close to 2 hours. Just by all of us, all different shades and tans and cultural differences, all of us different people in one place, congregating and talking about the great things Martin Luther King did years ago. We're making progress right now, at this very second. We will continue to make progress. Yes, we can clap on it. We can clap on it, yes. Yes, it's a very important thing. It's a very important thing to acknowledge and note that this is progress. Just talking, communicating, gathering, fellowshipping, which, by the way, fellowshipping, there will be food afterward. So if anyone needs any type of special assistance with obtaining food or getting to the cafeteria, there will be escorts here in the auditorium as well as people that assist with you in the cafeteria in case you need anything. And I'd like to also remind everybody, this is a great time to remind you, that the blood drive is still happening outside. It'll be here for the duration of the event. So if you want to go outside, warm your blood first and then give them the warm blood and run outside real fast. It's 10 degrees. Be careful. So make sure you know that. And again, also, I want to remind you the surveys are in the back in the lobby area with the tables so we can continue to get feedback on our annual event. Just checking, make sure we're still moving. So I think it's important to also note that while we're making progress today, the cadence of today's society, as far as the movement is concerned, it may appear to some people to be off rhythm, off beat, or out of the way, but it is still a part of what is already supposed to happen. So I think it's important to make sure we keep our faith, remember how to balance and be one in solidarity. I'm going through the 7. We got to persevere and make sure we stay as a unit to our path of enlightenment. So important things to note, How y'all feeling this afternoon? Good? Yes? Any no's? It's okay if you don't. It's a Monday, It's a great day, but it's still a cold Monday. No response? Y'all a beautiful crowd. Really. Oh, stop it. Who said that? Stop it. Cut it out. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to be here, It's a beautiful day to be here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to introduce to everyone IKPA, which stands for Indonesian Kids Performing Arts. They are a nonprofit group established by several members of the Indonesian community whose focus is on educating and building character of the children and youth within the Indonesian community. Residing in the Washington, D.C./DMV area through the experience of music, IKPA's team consists of Marina, Ira, Nova, Ufara, Ida, Wiwin. Today, the youth you will see on stage will be playing traditional instruments called angklung, kulintang, marimba, gamelan, and percussion under the musical direction of Ulung Tanoto. So y'all, round of applause for IKPA.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Indonesian Kids Performing Arts parts will take you to a part of an island of Indonesia through Joranan song and dance.
The song Jaranan has two meanings. The first one, togetherness. In the lyric Singnumpat Doro Bei Singniring Poro Mentri, there is a sense of togetherness between superiors and subordinates. This togetherness is about the help of each other to help each other. Between the people who are in the higher position, Doro Bei in this song, and the people who are inferior, in this case, are Doro Bei's ministers, who are his escorts.
The second meaning of Jaranan is respect for a higher position. Javanese culture has taught that a person who has a lower position must respect those who have a higher position. This was seen in the lyric Sing Numpak Doro Bei Singiring Poro Mentri. In this lyric, Doro Bei is considered to have a higher position than the ministers because the term Doro Bei is only used to refer to someone who has a higher position and is a noble. Moreover, he is riding a large, high horse and must be accompanied by his ministers. Therefore, the duty of the ministers is to guard him.
The angklung is a musical instrument from Indonesia made of a varying number of bamboo tubes attached to a bamboo frame, similar to Western handbells. The base of the frame is held in one hand while the other hand shakes the instrument, causing a repeating note to sound. An angklung ensemble play just one note or more, but altogether complete melodies are produced.
The angklung is popular throughout the world, but it's originated in what is now West Java and Banten provinces in Indonesia. Playing the angklung as an orchestra requires cooperation and coordination and is believed to promote the values and teamwork, mature respect, the social harmony.
On November 18, 2010, UNESCO officially awarded Indonesian angklung as the masterpiece of oral and important heritage of humanity, and encouraged the Indonesian people and government to protect, promote performances, and to encourage the craftsmanship of angklung. Please enjoy Indonesian Kids Performing Arts.
I'd like to just real quick, a big thank you to all the performers who came out today. I appreciate the art, the energy, and the time and the work ethic you guys put into making today possible. So I just want to do a quick thank you to all the performers. Can we get one big applause for everybody, ladies and gentlemen? I'd like to also thank all the officials and the council members and the members of the commission and everyone and the mayor, of course, for coming out today. And I want to thank all of you for being in attendance as well. So let's give everybody in the room a round of applause. All right, coming up to the stage next will be a member of the commission, and I'll allow him to introduce himself. So let's give him a round of applause as he comes out.
Greetings, my name is Irfan Mortaza, and I'm a member of the Rockville Human Rights Commission. Welcome again to this year's MLK Day celebration, Enduring Hope, Enduring Progress, where we honor hope that is lasting and progress that is permanent. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Justin Hansford, who we believe is both a symbol and agent of hope and progress. Professor Hansford is an associate professor at Howard University School of Law and executive director of its new Thurgood Marshall Civil Rights Center. He earned his BA from Howard University and his law degree from Georgetown Law. Professor Hansford also received a Fulbright Scholar Award to study the legal career of Nelson Mandela, and he served as a law clerk to the Honorable Damon J. Keith of the U.S. Court of Appeals in Detroit, Michigan. Professor Hansford is a leading scholar and activist in the areas of critical race theory, human rights law, and law and social movements. In the wake of the killing of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, Professor Hansford worked to empower the Ferguson community through legal advocacy. He co-authored the Ferguson to Geneva Human Rights Shadow Report and accompanied the Ferguson protesters and Mike Brown's family to Geneva, Switzerland to testify at the United Nations. He has served as a policy advisor for proposed post-Ferguson reforms at the local, state, and federal level, testifying before, among others, the Ferguson Commission and the President's Task Force on 21st Century Policing. Please join me in giving a warm Rockville welcome to our guest and my friend, Justin Hansford.
Hey, how y'all doing today? I don't know why they put me after those adorable kids. I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that performance, but let's give another round of applause to those performers. So they are a testament to how our diversity enriches us. People from all ages, from all different walks of life, from different parts of the world, giving us all these colors and sounds. It was just a beautiful performance. So today is not any normal Dr. King Day. Here in 2019, we're facing a shutdown of the federal government that has left hardworking people in fear for their livelihood. People are confused. People are in despair. But the theme today is hope. And as I was preparing the speech, I asked myself, what would Dr. King want to be said on this occasion, during these times, on this day? How can we celebrate the man, and how can we celebrate his message? What would give us hope in this particular moment? Now, I don't really know y'all like that, so I'm not exactly sure what will give you hope, but I can talk about what gives me hope today. So I'm a professor, as Irfan said, so that means oftentimes I'm stuck in my head. I'm always thinking about ideas. And so my way towards hope begins with knowledge. And so if Dr. King is going to give me hope, I'd want to know more about who he was as a man. I want to know more about his message, what it was all about. So in trying to understand the man, Dr. King, I looked up a quote from Dr. Cornel West, the guy with the hair, and it's this beautiful quote. He said, Dr. King was part of the Black prophetic tradition, full of fire in his bones, love in his heart, light in his mind, and courage in his soul. And it's that final element, courage, that most defines Dr. King to me. Dr. King's courage was the stuff of legend. He was in his house in 1956 when it was firebombed by segregationists. His wife and his children barely escaped with their lives. Yet he rebuilt his house and he continued with his work. He was stabbed in the chest in 1958 while at a book signing. Can you believe this? The knife was stuck in his chest for hours while he was in the ambulance, while he was in the waiting room, waiting to have surgery, hour after hour. After the successful surgery, he was told by his doctor if he had merely sneezed while waiting for the operation, the knife would have sliced an artery and he would have drowned in his own blood. Yet he recovered and he continued his work. He went to jail over 30 times while being involved in nonviolent marches, locked up by Southern sheriffs who tried to intimidate him, probably wanted to lynch him. Yet he got out on bail and he continued his work. His peers, fellow clergy condemned him for breaking the law during his marches, but he didn't back down. In his famous letter from Birmingham City Jail, he distinguished between just laws on one side, unjust laws on the other side, saying that he would obey the just laws because they were squared with God's will, but he felt it was his moral duty to disobey unjust laws because they undermined God's will. A lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people didn't like that. For his stance, he received death threats. One time, he was hit with a rock by a heckler and bloodied, yet he continued his work and continued to protest until his last days. He continued because he was committed to his message. And one of his most courageous acts was not just his physical courage, but his moral courage in standing up against the Vietnam War in 1967 when all of his advisors told him that it was a foolish thing to do. But he went forward anyway, committed to fighting against the three evils that he had identified: racism, militarism, and economic injustice. Now, here we are years later, and we're still facing many of those three evils. Economic injustice continues. Did you know that the average black family is worth about $1,700 and the average white family has about $117,000 in wealth? The top 1% of the country owns about 40% of the nation's wealth. Militarization continues. We have nuclear wars threatened with North Korea. We've got conflicts at the border. And on the question of racial justice, as the mayor described, we have hate crimes that are happening even today. White supremacists attacked a church in Charleston, attacked a synagogue in Pittsburgh. We've got a Muslim ban. We've got family separation policies. We had the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. Just this past weekend, a group of teenagers from Kentucky mocked a Native American elder while wearing these ugly red hats with the words MAGA on the front. A lot of bad news that we can think about. But that wasn't the theme of our event today, was it? The theme today was about hope. I'm supposed to talk to you about hope. So far, it hasn't been very hopeful, has it? But I do actually have a source of hope to talk to you about. 4 years ago, I myself, actually someone who grew up in Montgomery County Public Schools, who was last here at Richard Montgomery when I was a student at Sherwood for a basketball game, which we won by 20 points, I should add. It's a great day. But me, someone here from Montgomery County, 4 years ago, found myself living in St. Louis. I lived there for 7 years, about 10 minutes away from a place called Ferguson, Missouri. There was a young man who was murdered there named Mike Brown. His killer, Darren Wilson, walked free. But my inspiration came not from that situation, of course, but from the Ferguson youth like we saw up on this stage earlier today. Like Dr. King, even after the decision by the grand jury, they continued to protest day after day, month after month, eventually sparking a national movement for racial justice which called itself Black Lives Matter. I stood beside them. I got tear gassed with them. I went to jail with them. As an aside, I know going to jail protesting sounds cool. It's not. Wouldn't recommend it. I was a lawyer, so I was actually pretty popular while I was in jail. People wanted to get free legal advice from me. But jail wasn't fun. Jail was cold. It was musty. The mattress was thin. The mattress was hard that you slept on. Didn't smell nice in there. But I want to say I was there with 3 other protesters. One of them, Bassem Masri, rest his soul, young guy, younger than me. He's passed away. 6 Ferguson protesters have died since in mysterious circumstances. Another one, Damon Davis, made a movie about Ferguson called Whose Streets, which was shown at the Sundance Film Festival. You should all see it. It's on Netflix, I believe, and Hulu as well. Another guy named Tef Poe is at Harvard on a fellowship. He's a rapper, and he's writing a book about Ferguson. So these activists, even while sitting in jail, in that musty jail cell, knew deep in their heart they had something to contribute to the world. And they went forward and they continued. And I learned from them that hope and courage don't depend on any predictions that your outcome will be favorable. We knew Darren Wilson was going to go free when we were protesting in Ferguson. Hope isn't about the certainty of victory. So that must have been a good line because you see they got the sound backing it up. Hope isn't about the certainty of victory. Hope is about the sense that our actions matter even when change seems like it's impossible. Hope is an orientation of the heart. So Dr. King once said that there comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but he must take it because conscience tells him it is right. He said on another occasion that one must learn to accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. I saw that spirit in Ferguson, and I'm still inspired by that today, and also by the young people I saw earlier this afternoon with the knowledge that young people in our generation do have hope, they do have courage, and they do have the ability to take positions because they are right. They do have that deep within their hearts. So in that spirit today, I actually want to move from the man to the message to this moment right now, 2019, Rockville, Maryland. What would Dr. King want us to do today to respond to the moment? We know that Dr. King had a radical vision for economic justice. In one of his last essays, he called for an economic Bill of Rights. What he meant by that was that he believed that people should be guaranteed jobs. Everybody should be guaranteed a job, everybody who is able to work. Also, there should be guaranteed income. for the physically disabled, including those who are too young or too old to work. Since then, we've built up a Social Security and disability system in a limited way, but the idea of guaranteed income remains. This year, in Stockton, California, there are some poor residents that will get a $500 monthly stipend, no strings attached. My question is, here in Montgomery County, Maryland, what would it look like to have guaranteed income? Can anybody imagine that? Oh, so give me a round of applause if you think that people should have guaranteed incomes. A few people. A few people. I have another one for you. So here we are in a nation. There's a debate over something called a wall. $5.7 billion proposed to spend on a wall. $5.7 billion not spent on, say, I don't know, student loan debt. That's a personal concern of mine. $5.7 billion not spent on guaranteed income. Why use it on a wall instead of using it on Dr. King's vision of economic justice? We have walls in our homes. We've got walls in this auditorium. We've got walls, but we also have doors, as you can see in the back, that let people come and go. You've got walls in the school, but there are also windows to let in sunshine. You also have windows to let in fresh air. We also have buildings with walls with no windows, no doors. You know what we call those? Jails. So why create a wall with the idea of blocking everything out, blocking out immigrants from some of these beautiful countries that we saw represented today, who might enrich our nation or enrich our culture? Why jail ourselves in? Why create a militaristic response of sending troops to the border when people who are trying to come in are often women and children, like the ones we saw performing this afternoon? Here's another unsolicited proposal. Here in Rockville, we also have the chance to take a position on immigration. We know cities like New York, Seattle, and Portland have declared themselves freedom cities or sanctuary cities that refuse to cooperate with ICE raids. Give me a round of applause if you think that it could be possible that Rockville could become a sanctuary city or a freedom city. Okay, more applause for that one. Finally, we know that earlier in 2018, there was a man named Robert White who was killed in Silver Spring, an unarmed black man killed by the police. Montgomery County Council member has introduced the Law Enforcement Trust and Transparency Act to create independent investigations when citizens are killed by police. I think that's a good thing. But in other cities, like, for example, Philadelphia, we have a district attorney who is taking a strong stand against mass incarceration, even to the point of refusing to enforce any marijuana arrests. Refusing to enforce marijuana arrests. So there's some applauses for that. Could we see here in Maryland the decision to drop marijuana cases? Who would want to see marijuana legalized in Maryland? Not that many people, huh? That's okay. Hey, I didn't come here to be uncontroversial. That's not Dr. King's legacy, right? We are proud to be part of a city, a county, that does take a strong stand on diversity. As a Montgomery County Public Schools graduate, I was happy to learn of the Equity Initiative Unit at Montgomery County Public Schools. According to the website, Montgomery County Public Schools acknowledges racial injustice and the barriers that are put up against the development for children of color. But I want to add one more thing. February 5th through 9th, 2019 is something called the Black Lives Matter National Week of Action. Dozens of schools and cities around the country, including most of the schools in DC, are going to call for the end of zero-tolerance discipline in schools. They're going to call for the teaching of ethnic studies classes in public schools. They're going to call for the hiring of more diverse teachers and a specific curriculum that promotes restorative justice, diversity, and tolerance. So yeah, round of applause if you think Montgomery County could stand to adopt the Black Lives Matter National Week of Action. Thank you. And I can guarantee that the Thurgood Marshall Civil Rights Center will support Montgomery County if they decide to go in that direction. So that's the last unsolicited proposal I'm going to make for today. But I want to end with this. I don't think hope lies in grand theories. I think sometimes hope is about having the capacity to see in the dark. If you feel like you can see in the dark, maybe you'll take a shot in the dark, like I just did. Then it's not about whether your calculation is accurate or whether your shot in the dark will even hit the mark. Like those protesters in Ferguson, sometimes it's about showing that you have the desire and the passion and the courage to take that shot, even if you think that change will not come your way. Doing it because it's the right thing to do. That's what Dr. King would want from us today. I think he'd want us to be able to believe in ourselves so that we are going to be willing to take more shots in the dark in our own lives, in our own ways. Education, criminal justice, immigration, economic justice, whatever issues you're passionate about, take a shot in the dark and use whatever tools you have to make a difference in your sphere of influence. That's how we can celebrate Dr. King. That's how we can celebrate his message. That's how we can celebrate him in this moment. So in 2019, I pray that we continue to live his values, not in some vague, abstract sense, but in how we live today and every day. So thank you, and I'm not going to stand between you and your food any longer.
And now the winner of the 2019 Martin Luther King Jr. Award is Gideon Wakina. If you would, please come to the stage. Gideon Wakina is a student here at Richard Montgomery High School. He's the president of the Minority Scholars Program, which addresses the achievement and opportunity gaps in Montgomery County schools. His advocacy for students of color include developing the MSP United app that allows students nationwide to create study groups and access college prep information. Gideon has taught students to develop features for the app, giving them exposure to programming. He also tutors middle and high school students and has held workshops for teachers about understanding the opportunity gaps so they can assist in closing them. The work Gideon has done and continues to do has caught the attention of Young Montgomery. County Cable Montgomery's show, which interviewed him as part of its feature on the county's youth. Gideon, on behalf of the Rockville Human Rights Commission, I would like to present to you with this plaque. And the plaque reads as follows. Martin Luther King Jr. Youth Award, the advancement of the goals and dreams of Martin Luther King Jr. is fundamental to strengthening our society and promoting unity through diversity. This effort must begin with youth. Presented by the Mayor and Council and the Human Rights Commission in recognition of exemplary efforts to promote the message of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for youth in our community. Gideon Wakina, January 21st, 2019.
I'm Senator Cheryl Kagan, very proud to represent Gaithersburg and Rockville. Thank you. I have a citation that I'm very happy to present to Gideon Wakina on behalf of all the residents of Rockville, as well as delegates for District 17, Kumar Barve, Jim Gilchrist, and newest delegate, Julie Polakovich-Carr, our former Rockville City Council member. This is a citation from the Senate of Maryland. Gideon, if you want to come back over. In honor of your work as president of the Minority Scholars Program and helping to develop the MSP United app to create study groups across the country, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. famously said, quote, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Your bright light will only burn brighter as you continue your life of service. Congratulations on earning the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Youth Award. It's presented this day, January 21st, 2019, by me, Senator Cheryl Kagan, representing District 17, Rockville and Gaithersburg. Congratulations, Gideon.
It is now my honor and privilege to introduce the two nominees for the F. Michael Taft Award. Teen Angel Project is the 2019 nominee. Is Teen Angel Project here, representatives? Let's give them a hand, please. The print that I did was much, much bigger than this. The 2019 recipient of the F. Michael Taft Award is Main Street Connect, Inc. Main Street Connect, Inc. was nominated for its focus on meeting the urgent need for disability housing and programming with affordable, community-centered spaces and opportunities that promote inclusion, independence, and quality of life. Main Street recently broke ground on an apartment building at 50 Monroe Place in the city of Rockville. 25% of the 70 units are designed and designated for adults with developmental differences, and 75% will be affordable, including all of the units designated for people with disabilities. Opening in 2020, the building will feature an inclusive community center. Even before the center opens, Main Street has created a membership program of 875 individuals and family members of all abilities that hosts events such as bowling, yoga, picnic, a mom's coffee, outdoor concerts, and a pool party. Main Street also launched a professional network, which includes more than 80 members and hosts regular networking events for professionals to connect and collaborate on programming for persons with disabilities. Main Street's public outreach has included a screening of the documentary Intelligent Lives, followed by a panel discussion with disability advocate Dan Habib, which was attended by over 600 high school students. Scott and Jillian Copeland are the owners and developers of Main Street. We owe them a great deal of thanks, gratitude, and appreciation for what they're doing for our community, and representing them today is it's Julie? It's not written here. I'm so sorry. Julie, I apologize. Please come forward and let us thank you. Julie Ryan and Adam Hoffman. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's just such a pleasure to be here. And Jillian and Scott Copeland are sorry they couldn't be here today. They are the leaders of this amazing project that will make a big difference for people with disabilities in this area. And we're so thankful to the community of Rockville for all the support.
I'm going to read the proclamation. It says, F. Michael Taft Award, the elimination of discrimination against individuals with disabilities and the achievement of equal access to all persons are fundamental to the respect and dignity of every member of our society. presented by the Mayor and Council and the Human Rights Commission in recognition of exemplary efforts to attain the full inclusion of persons with disabilities in our community. Main Street Connecting, January 21, 2019. Thank you. Thank you, Adam.
I was very honored to be featured in a blog post on a blog called Riveting Women. And in that, I talked about how any one of us, any one person can make a difference. And I'll tell you, Jillian Copeland is a force to be reckoned with. But she and Scott and Julie and Adam, the disabilities community, and so many people in Rockville and beyond have worked to make Main Street Connect a reality. I was delighted to testify before the Mayor and Council, the Planning Commission, and to be at the groundbreaking. It's really going to be an asset for Rockville Town Center. And so I am very proud to present a citation to you, Julie, and you, Adam. This is a citation from the Senate of Maryland, presented to Main Street Connect in recognition of your unrelenting dedication that will improve the lives of people with disabilities in Rockville. Thanks to you, adults with disabilities will have an affordable, inclusive, and convenient community that they can call home. Congratulations on receiving the F. Michael Taff Award. Again, it's presented this day, January 21st, 2019, and signed by me, Cheryl Kagan, Senator for District 17, Rockville and Gaithersburg. Congratulations and best of luck to you.
Really quickly, before we close, I would like to recognize the Multimedia Contest Award winner. Each year, the Multimedia Contest Award is presented to the high school student who best answers one of our contest prompts, which focus on human rights and civil rights issues. This year, I would like to recognize Inez Dunfolk and the runner-up, Jennifer Yarmanoski. Unfortunately, neither one of them is here, so I will accept their awards on their behalf. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, one more big round of applause for all of our nominees and all of our recipients. Truly, the service is remarkable, so we just want to extend our appreciation. All right, ladies and gentlemen of Rockville, thank you for rocking with us up to this point. We have come to the close of our program. But before we go, I see coats and everything. Before we go, I just want to close out the remarkable legacy of Dr. King. Dr. King once said, "Only in the darkness can you see the stars." So no matter how rough things get sometimes, you got to remember that's when your true potential will truly come to light. So it's important to remember. And I'd like to quote a quick verse. I know y'all ready to roll. I'd like to quote a quick verse from Carmen, from the original motion picture Selma, the song Glory. Just give me 1 second. Let me get in character. Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against. Yes, glory is destined. Every day, women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on the bus. That's why we walk through Ferguson with our hands up. When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stay down, and we stand up. Shots, we on the ground. The camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, ladies and gentlemen of Rockville, thank y'all for rocking with us up to this point.